Greetings, friends. The focus of our presentation today is eco-grief. As animists, I think it is safe to say we are all familiar with this feeling of extreme sadness at the disrespect and destruction of the natural world we hold sacred. This particular flavor of grief may be felt when considering something as large as the climate emergency or as small as witnessing the indiscriminate use of herbicides and pesticides when the plants are flowering and are occupied by pollinating insects. As an Animist minister, I sense that the majority of people have a strong component of unrecognized anxiety that is triggering to other types of discord just waiting to emerge. Issues that seem to be resolved come to the surface in a disproportionate way after witnessing the destruction of a familiar landmark. There are many threads of eco-grief in the web of life. The strength of full-circle animism is recognizing the necessity to engage in rituals of release, letting go, and clearing. These actions can be as simple as a moment of internal dialogue with the spirit of the other-than-human person. I see your pain with the sorrow that I am unable to alter the course of events, one moment in a day of moments. For the determined, strong, healthy person, the ritual might be the years-long campaign to change things in an environmental movement. There are as many ways to react to eco-grief as there are humans. To even talk about eco-grief is triggering. I've encountered many people who have a low threshold of hearing about conditions that threaten the lives of their loved ones. Too much information leads to numbness, isolation, and self-destructive actions. Raising awareness for the purpose of change is a skillful task that involves providing just enough information without overwhelming another person's ability to receive it. Meaningful, purposeful communication is a long-term endeavor that must be a blend of joy and sorrow. As ministers, we are agents of change. A conversation on a bus with a stranger might be the action that combines with thousands of similar conversations that fosters the awareness that creates the change. Today, we hope to share a thoughtful blend of joy and sorrow that is empowering.
In recent years, I've been watching a glacier melt in Alaska at a very high rate of speed. It's not one that I've walked on, but there are several that I have. I want to share a few words about seeing my first glacier. It brings me to tears to think about the colors, the texture, the firmness, the feeling that it could last forever. Walking on this ancient being at 3 o'clock in the morning when it was still light and my husband and I were giggling. We felt like two little kids exploring, and we wish we could have stayed many more hours, but it was going to be too many hours back to the car. This area became so deeply embedded in my soul for important reasons. There are only two places that I have felt were home and have now been destroyed by greed and climate change. One of them is Alaska. If I could move there, I would go even with the destruction of the landscape. The first glacier I saw was in the Matanuska Valley, and therefore called the Matanuska Glacier. I had the extreme privilege of going to Alaska because my mother-in-law gave my husband and I free tickets to stay with her sister who lived way, way out. My husband, Peter's uncle by this marriage, worked with people just like me as a therapist that worked with those who went through extreme organized abuse by their entire family. The very first thing he ever said to me was, "You should be congratulated. People that have been through what you've been through either don't make it because they kill themselves or go inside of themselves and never come out. My point in telling you all of this is that when I went and stood on the glacier, my life changed. When Peter and I got back home and we decided we wanted a dog, and he was going to have to be a dog with a really strong heart, it didn't take long to find such a sweet spirit. This dog knew how to help me with post-traumatic treatment disorder. I named him Matanuska because the earth and the rocks and the glacier gave him to me. He's long gone now, but he's everywhere with me, and it's all because of that glacier. That dog led me to two horrendously abused dogs that I've worked with for years to rehabilitate, and I'm so proud of them. Maybe that glacier gave me just a little bit of its magic and wisdom. Part of my ministry is ministering to horribly abused animals, and part of my ministry is going to places that no one wants to see, not just decimated glaciers, but also the ghetto that were once up-down homes. I'm watching and I'm learning, and eco grief is a huge part of my life. As I dictate this, tears stream down my face.
Snowball Earth. Once there was a time of ice, a snowball Earth. Ice covered almost all of the planet. The oceans were a mixture of slush and open water that extended almost to the equator. Icebergs transported large amounts of soil and rock to distant places. Life consisted of early bacteria, which left mats that became fossils. Freeze, thaw, freeze. In geologically rapid terms, life was challenged. This is believed to have occurred 750 million years ago. The light from the sun was dimmer than today. The Earth's land had been forming, then pulling apart as it moved across the latitudes. Today we can detect Arctic material that is now in the tropics. 540 million years ago, complex multicellular life pulses into existence. Bacteria began to produce oxygen. Plants emerged. Animals crawled from the oceans onto the land. The splendor of entangled biodiversity created itself within the web of life. Today we can determine that life has been challenged at least 6 times with mass extinction. There have been a number of causes for this upheaval. They all involve a dynamic between the leveling powers of ice and fire. Comets and volcanoes have worked their will in the shaping of life on planet Earth. 55 million years ago, there were palm trees and alligator ancestors in the Arctic when the temperature was an average 74 degrees. Ice, fire, ice over vast time has created the conditions for life that then was destroyed and created again, shape-shifting into the inhabitants with whom we share the Earth today. A new feature has been added to the formative process of planetary mortal life. It is the intellect of the evolving primate, humans. This species has learned to have the effect of volcanoes in altering the composition of the atmosphere. The very breath of human intellect has devised a means to warm the Earth to temperatures not seen in millions of years in a span of time that has a duration, geologically, like that of a lightning bolt. This heat is melting the ancient glacial ice, putting all life in peril. This is the 6th extinction. As Animist Ministers, we accept reality. We take what opportunities we may encounter to work for a different outcome. We find joy in small things, and we honor the passing of other than human persons. Our grief contains our heartfelt respect and devotion. Our rituals are empowering and liberating, for we know there is solace in deep time.
I wanted to share an excerpt from a book called Thinking Like a Mountain Towards a Council of All Beings by John Seed, Joanna Macy, and others. From the beginning of the universe, let us go back, way back, before the birth of our planet, back to the mystery of the universe coming into being. All that is now, every galaxy, star, and planet, every particle existing comes into being at this great fiery birthing of the Big Bang. Every particle which makes up you and me comes into being at this instant and has been circulating through countless forms ever since, born of this great cauldron of creativity. When we look at a candle flame or a star, we see the light of that fireball. Your metabolism burns with that very same fire now.
Starfire. Greetings, humans. I am your parent, the stars at night. I am the difference in pressure between expansion and contraction. I am the movement of atoms, the fast and the slow. I am the shapeshifter who creates through destruction. I am the stream of photons, tiny rays of light, almost eternal in the vast nothingness between tiny somethings. I am the energy almost beyond perception. I have been called dark matter, the ruler of elusive gravity, the queen of the unseen, your parent. Humans often believe more in my aspect as the mistress of the seen, a tiny portion of reality. I am the transmutation of light into heat. When I am absorbed, change occurs. I accumulate and grow in the cells of mortality. The forests of the earth are my creation. The lightning of destruction is mine as well. The spark of the first fires contain the destiny of the final inferno. Ultimately, all things are consumed by my power and return to me, the first parent. Human, this moment is yours, but only this moment. You are my children, always coming home.
This is a poem, and it's called Wild Geese, and it is by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. The sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
First dog. Once, when I was a child, I was lost in the world of humans who claimed I was one of them. They spoke a language I didn't understand. They lived in a world I didn't believe in. Fortunately, I was adopted by a dog. I am your relative, she said. I am the first dog, and you are the first human. I am the bitch who birthed your spirit understanding. I am the bitch who will never forsake you. I am the first dog who taught humans to feel the earth, to breathe the earth. I am the first dog who taught humans the rules of the pack, devotion to each other, devotion to the kill. I am deliciously stained with the blood of the hunt. I revel in gore. I eat the shit of grazing beasts. Horse poop is the best. I can be friends, or at least accepting, in the company of humans. I know what I know. I am a calendar. My fur predicts the future. Cold winter coming, I know it. When summer is near, I know it, and share the prediction with everyone by my wind-borne fur. I teach how to dream, how to awake and refresh. Am I perfect? Not a chance. I will return cruelty with a warning. Do not take me lightly, I will bite. These and so many other things my dog Auntie taught me. I tell you these things because I sense your loneliness. You have no pack. As first dog to first human, we have found each other. I complete you. I nourish your spirit. I do nothing and everything is done. Come, let us bark together at nothing. Breathe in, bark out. Breathe, bark, breathe, bark. Come, let us roll in the grass together.
This is a poem by Wendell Berry called The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
As animists, we are embedded in a reality that contains the splendor of biodiverse connection and also the horror of its mindless destruction. The challenge of being sensitive is being sensitive. We feel the relationship between joy and sorrow in the core of our beings. We lived during the time of the sixth extinction. We didn't choose this. We live in a response that is founded on compassion. Our task is to not self-destruct and to provide comfort to those who feel alone and bewildered by circumstances which are extreme. Our response is to engage in animist ritual at the level that our bodies and minds can bear. It is different for each person. Find your voice. In the age of destruction, only love remains.
I want to read The Five Vows by Joanna Macy from the work that reconnects. I vow to myself and to each of you to commit myself daily to the healing of our world and the welfare of all beings, to live on earth more lightly and less violently in the food, products, and energy I consume, to draw strength and guidance from the living earth, the ancestors, the future generations, and my siblings and kin of all species, to support others in their work for the world and to ask for help when I need it, to pursue a daily practice that clarifies my mind, strengthens my heart, and supports me in observing these vows. Thank you.